Honestly, we have such a blast. The way you guys went crazy tonight is the reason we make music. Thank you. Alright, your turn. Fellas, make some noise!
Something happened in Tampa that night, something even those in attendance struggle to explain to this day. A brief, simple, almost effortless moment ignited an unstoppable global wave of reaction. And at the center of the entire phenomenon, Taehyung. At first, the third Tampa concert seemed like a typical, high-energy night. The cheers were loud, the music was pumping, and the atmosphere felt like thousands of other concerts BTS had performed over the years. There was no hint that anything unique was waiting to happen. But this seemingly insignificant event proved to be the turning point, transforming a small interaction into an explosion of international attention. As Taehyung walked to the center of the stage with his usual relaxed demeanor, the audience expected him to sing, dance, or give a special segment as usual. But what happened was just one sentence, delivered in a joking, almost everyday manner. There was no overemphasis, no dramatic expression, no grand choreography to elicit cheers. He simply spoke, paused, and let the atmosphere hang. And before anyone could prepare, the sentence came, "Ladies, you won." What happened next was completely unexpected. In an instant, the entire stadium erupted. Screams echoed like a wave upon wave. Cameras flashed from all directions, and thousands of spectators reacted as if they had just witnessed the most intense moment of the entire concert. Many didn't even understand why the reaction was so intense. There was no dramatic scene, no major surprise, no choreography. Yet precisely because of its simplicity, the moment felt too powerful to ignore. It was as if the line had unlocked something within the audience. Tension, excitement, a sense of connection, all happening in a matter of seconds. What made it even more bizarre was how natural Taehyung seemed. He said it like someone making a spontaneous joke, with no preparation or intention of creating a viral moment. But what seemed simple to many had a far more profound effect. Within minutes, the still bewildered audience saw that the moment, which even they themselves felt was too fleeting, was spreading across the internet. TikTok was the quickest to pick up on it. The algorithm instantly detected the surge of raw emotion in the video, and within an hour, thousands of edits, recuts, comments, and reactions began to appear. X, Twitter, followed. Even non-BTS fans got involved, replaying the video and wondering how the stadium could explode over one simple sentence. At this point, the narrative had evolved into something far beyond the K-pop world. American media, which typically focuses on big news or controversies, began discussing Taehyung's viral moment. Culture journalists, digital analysts, and even branding experts began highlighting the phenomenon as an example of how a micro-interaction can create momentary dominance, a term used to describe how a single small action can dominate the global public conversation. Such a phenomenon, they argued, is nearly impossible to engineer. In an entertainment industry steeped in planning, scripting, and marketing strategies, successful spontaneity is rare. What made it all the more remarkable was how effortlessly Taehyung controlled the performance. He didn't need to raise his voice, dance elaborately, or even prolong the interaction. With his relaxed demeanor, he seemed to know exactly when to speak, when to pause, and when to let the audience take over. Some journalists even compared his charisma to that of past stage legends, artists who relied not on flawless technique, but on an inexplicable aura. From a business and marketing perspective, this phenomenon is even more powerful. Every multiplying view, every increasing share, and every exploding comment all have economic value. Organic viral moments like this are essentially the equivalent of a multi-million-dollar promotional campaign, with no production costs, no advertising strategy, no sponsorship. Big brands are taking notice. They know that anyone who can create a viral wave like this effortlessly has influence that's hard to match. In the digital world, Attention is currency, and Taehyung has just struck gold. Meanwhile, the emotional impact on the public is intensifying. People who weren't at the concert are starting to experience a powerful FOMO. TikTok is filled with slow-motion edits, facial expression analysis, body gesture breakdowns, and even theories of audience psychology. Every second of interaction is magnified, analyzed, and discussed. The longer people watch, the more deeply they become invested in the moment. Interestingly, the impact of that one simple sentence didn't stop online. As the days went by, the wave of reaction only grew, like a circle of water that expands every time something is dropped onto the surface. The discussion about Taehyung didn't just remain a viral moment, but evolved into a deep analysis of the artist's personal influence in the digital age. What initially seemed like a lighthearted joke began to be seen as a new portrait of how a performer shifts the dynamics between stage, audience, and expectations. At this point, entertainment analysts in America began to dig deeper. They saw how today's audiences weren't just looking for visual perfection or high-quality vocals, but something more human: sincerity, spontaneity, and a palpable emotional presence. Taehyung, in that moment, delivered all of these elements without meaning to. It was precisely this unintentionality that made it all the more powerful. And this is what became a major topic in various music forums and international media: the ability of an artist to make people feel something without having to do anything monumental. Meanwhile, videos of the moment spread to platforms beyond TikTok and X. YouTube began to fill with reaction videos from various countries: America, Brazil, Japan, India, the Philippines, and even Eastern Europe. Many of them didn't understand Korean or the context of a BTS concert, but they felt the energy radiating from Taehyung's speech, his pauses, and the audience's response with almost unbelievable intensity. Global reactions like this rarely occur except at major music events like the Super Bowl halftime show. But this time, it all happened in a single, few-second clip. Even more surprising, many YouTubers and global pop culture observers began discussing the incident from a broader perspective: how K-pop culture had entered a new phase. While they once viewed K-pop as an industry where everything had to be perfect, they now saw how artists like Taehyung brought an unexpected element: a spontaneity that felt genuine. They called this moment a shift from perfection to presence. In Korea, local media outlets also began to pay attention to this phenomenon. Several articles highlighted how Taehyung's ability to create cross-cultural connections stemmed not only from his visuals or musical talent, but from the way he made even small moments feel significant. Even the moment of silence that followed the line, "Ladies, you won," became the most iconic part. It was as if the pause allowed emotions to rise to the surface, and the audience responded with full force. Within days, subsequent concerts saw a surge in resale and ticket searches on secondary platforms. Many said they didn't want to miss the opportunity to experience a spontaneous moment like the one in Tampa. What initially existed only on social media has now evolved into a real sense of urgency among global audiences. This has led agencies, market analysts, and event producers to take a closer look at the Taehyung effect. Internally in the industry, marketing and artist management experts are discussing a new theory: the impact of micro-spontaneous moments. They argue that in the digital age, small moments like these often have a more effective impact than large-scale promotions. Moments like Taehyung's in Tampa, for example, created a domino effect, from virality to increased engagement to brand mentions to the formation of a stronger global image. And it all happened without production costs, without elaborate concepts, without commercial strategies. The main strength was Taehyung himself, with his natural stage presence, his calm gaze, and his ability to speak simply yet meaningfully. Many experts began to note that this was a crucial transition in his solo journey, not just an experimental phase, but a phase of identity building. In the eyes of the Western public, he was no longer seen simply as a Korean idol. He began to be seen as a global artist who spoke a universal language, the language of emotion. When Western cultural analysts began discussing this phenomenon, they expected the effect to fade quickly. But the opposite happened. Taehyung's narrative grew stronger over time. Every new video clip from subsequent concerts began to be compared to Tampa. Every small interaction he had with the audience was analyzed in detail. Even a simple smile or glance at the camera, fans and non-fans alike interpreted it as part of the mysterious allure that set him apart from other artists. See you in the next video.